Hi, welcome back to my channel. We've got lots of videos coming up in the near future. We've got some amazing holiday adventure videos, some days out videos, and some more kind of chatty type videos too. So if you are not subscribed already, please make sure that you are. Today I am going to be having a little bit of a chat about finding out what you're having when you're pregnant versus going for the surprise, because we experienced both options. I kind of want to talk about my thoughts on that. For anybody that is not familiar with our kind of backstory, our first child was a little boy and we didn't find out what we were having with him. Our second child is a little girl and we didn't find out what we were having with her. And then third time around, we have another little girl, but we did find out the third time around. People tend to fall very firmly a lot of the time into one camp or the other. You're either a find out person or a not find out person. And I think people are always a little bit interested on what it's like the other side of the fence, which is probably part of the reason that I found out the third time around, because I was intrigued as to whether it felt any different. So a lot of people do ask me about how different it was and whether there was one way or another that I prefer. And there is, but I'll get onto that in a minute. First time around, Rich actually really wanted to find out every single time what we were having. Probably because he's a bit of a control freak and he just wanted to know. I am actually also a bit of a control freak, and it's probably quite surprising to people that know me that I didn't find out the first two times. But I also, as much as I'm a control freak, I really love that really good feeling of surprise. That real surprise, exciting feeling. And I do feel like there aren't that many surprises in life. And I do feel like having a baby is, because you don't get a say, you don't get a choice, you get what you're given. And it's exciting either way. I was quite firmly, even before we even got pregnant, saying I didn't think I'd find out when I had children, and Rich really wanted to, and of course first time around I won. I didn't feel like there was any need for us to find out. Like, it was our first baby, what difference does it make whether we were having a boy or a girl? So we didn't bother to find out, and we found out when he was born. And funnily enough, when he was born, even then we weren't in this massive hurry to find out, because I'd made this point of saying to the midwife, I don't want you to tell me, I want Rich to tell me what we've got. So I wanted the baby to be obviously delivered, and then for Rich to tell me whether we had a son or a daughter. I just had this really nice idea in my head that that would be very sweet. And the truth of the matter was, he was born, or it at that point was born. They kind of delivered this baby up onto me, and we were just staring at this baby, and he was probably 5 or 10 minutes old before the midwife just couldn't handle it anymore. And she was like, are you going to tell your wife what you've got? Because we just didn't care. Like, it really just didn't matter. We wanted a baby. So because we had such an amazing experience with that, second time around it was just, well, we won't bother finding out again. Like, it was nice to have that surprise. I also really liked the fact that you spend 9 months hearing people's really interesting conspiracy theories about what you're having. I guess if that would annoy you, then it would be nice to be able to tell people what you're having. But I really liked that kind of conversation starter out on the street. People would be like, oh, do you know what you're having? And as soon as you said no, people would be like, oh, well, you're definitely carrying like a boy. Or have you had any sickness? Oh, I think, you know, it might be a girl, because I was like this when I had a girl. Or I just loved hearing all of that from people. So I quite liked not knowing for that reason. Somebody actually told me when I was pregnant with Dylan that because I was a Gemini and Rich is a Libra, and we were having a Sagittarian Aquarian baby, that it would definitely be a girl. Dylan's a boy, so. But I just loved all of that. I just found it really entertaining and random. I had 2 surprises. I loved those surprises. And then third time around, almost as soon as we found out we were pregnant, I started wondering whether I might like to find out. And like I said at the beginning, partly I think because I was nosy as to whether it was any different. I feel like maybe the tides are turning a little bit now, but when I had Dylan and Everly, it was very much the done thing that you found out what you were having, and everybody seemed to find out. So everybody that I knew had found out what they were having, and it was a bit more unique that I'd gone for the surprise. And I just found it a bit like, everybody talked about, oh, I felt really bonded with the baby, and I didn't feel like I wasn't bonded with my surprise baby. So there was this bit of me that was kind of interested to know whether it would be any different if I'd known what I was having. So that kind of niggled away at me, and Rich had wanted to know all times what we were having. So there was part of me that was kind of like, well, maybe I'll let him have his own way this time. And also because, it sounds silly, but because we already had a boy and we already had a girl, I felt like maybe we didn't really have anything to prove. So I felt like it didn't really matter either way what we were having. I feel like maybe if we already had 2 boys, I wouldn't have found out, because I wouldn't have wanted people going on about how I needed to be a girl. That's a story for another day anyway. But yeah, I think because we already had a boy and a girl, and I just was nosy and wanted to know what it was like to know, we did find out. I absolutely loved finding out third time around, and it was nice from the perspective of you could start picturing things a little bit sooner. I could sort of prep a little bit more and buy sort of more girly type stuff, but then I'm not massively into girly stuff anyway, so I don't really think it made that much difference from a preparation perspective. But like I said, the main thing I was interested in is whether I would feel more bonded with the baby. And I would definitely say that when she was born, I felt like I had a slightly more concrete idea in my head of what I was letting myself in for. I kind of felt like I knew her a little bit more. I definitely don't think I was any more bonded with her than I was with the other 2. But what I would say is I just felt like I wasn't surprised. I knew before I went to the hospital that I was going to come home with a second daughter. I'd already started planning ahead in my mind, you know, what our family would look like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line with our son and our 2 daughters. I could kind of picture that a little bit more. I felt more kind of mentally and emotionally prepared for what my family was going to look like. I guess the $1,000,000 question, did I prefer knowing to not knowing? And as much as I absolutely loved knowing that Ashlyn was going to be a girl, I preferred surprises. I'm not entirely sure why. To be quite honest, I loved both for different reasons. It's quite hard to say for definite which one I preferred. The only way I know that I preferred surprises is if I were to have a 4th, I would have a surprise. I liked being team yellow, followed by team yellow. I loved being team pink, even though I'm not pinky. But I loved finding out that 3rd time, but were I to have a 4th one, I definitely think I'd go back to having a surprise. If you love hearing people's thoughts on gender, if you love watching gender reveals, or you just fancy a little cry into your coffee, because God, gender reveals are so emotional. If that is your bag, you should definitely check out the Channel 1 Village. I will pop a link in the description box below, because there are tons of beautiful, stylish, gorgeous gender reveals. There are also some lovely chatty vids from other mums talking about why they chose to find out versus not finding out, or whether they have any particular gender preferences. And I will also stick a couple of links in the box below to some of the videos that I've done around gender. So I did a video a little while ago about the idea of gender preference, and I also did our own gender reveal video when we were pregnant the 3rd time around, so I'll stick both of those links in the box below as well for you to check out. And I would love it if you could pop me a lovely little thumbs up and leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I particularly love you to leave me a comment with your thoughts on gender. So if you've already had a baby, whether you found out or you didn't find out, or what you think you'd do if you haven't had children yet, or also if you were like me, because I feel like we're slightly more rare, somebody that has kind of tried out both sides of it, and which one you preferred, whether you preferred knowing or not knowing, because I find that really interesting. And I will see you again for my next video. Thanks for watching, bye!